giving him attention, you're not focusing on him. If he wants to speak to you and communicate with you and download his best and tell you divine things about yourself, your system is not paying attention. You're not paying with attention. You are not opening your vessel to give to you, for God to give to you. How will he download himself when you are not bringing yourself to receive what he has for you? Think about that one. Also, when God has given your spirit gift, God is seeking those who will worship him in spirit and in truth. When God now downloads in your spirit, you came, you prayed, oh Lord, okay, it gives you power, it gives you knowledge, it loads you up spiritually. Do you know that you also have to transact with yourself? What God gave you spiritually, you need to slow down so that you can speak over yourself, pray over yourself, transfer what you receive spiritually into your body, mind, soul, so that you can talk God's word. It's one thing to read, it's another thing to download. Why? You can receive from heaven, but your spirit receives, it knows, the Spirit of God knows a lot of things. But there is a space where you give yourself to yourself, submit your body under your spirit, so that your spirit can pour the truth, so that your body now can receive updates. Because the body can be doing pass one or listening to somebody else. When you want your body self-control, you will spend time. This is quietness. Quietness will allow you to engage in spiritual transaction with yourself, where you are like, oh, this is what God said, this is what God said. You load it into your body, into your cells. You speak God's word over your life. You meditate, you pour, you update your own system, your own story. You are like, you received from God, but now you have to update yourself. That's a transaction where you are pouring, you are giving to yourself. Your spirit is pouring, but you cannot do it on high speed. Oh, you have to slow down. So you physically, your physical body must submit itself quietly to your spiritual self. First, you submit your spirit to God, you receive. I'm saying your flesh too must submit to your spirit to receive. Whatever you received spiritually, you must receive physically. If you want to see it physically, your body must slow down. Instead of vibrating at the frequency of other people's desire, doing things for other people, people pleasing, you say, come and please me, please. Body, hey, I'm your owner. Oh, yeah. What did God say again? You can say it 10 times so that your body will understand the memo. You have to give the memo to your body so that your body is not vibrating in opposition to what God told you. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, self-control is you updating, allowing Holy Spirit to teach you how to teach yourself. Holy Spirit will teach you how you will treat, because God does not touch. Please, unless you ask God to do it, that's why you speak in tongues. God is not in the business of breaking people down or forcing anything on people. But if you need help, you will pray, God, help me. Whatever is going on, whatever is, please reveal to me so that I know what to do. If you want to know what to do and fix yourself, ask God. He will tell you. He can see everything is plain before God's eyes. He knows what story that transaction that preceded you. The people who used, I'm going to go into spiritual transaction, there's generational transactions. People are traded. David engaged with God a dimension. God promised him the kingdom. There will be his lineage, his generation will sit on the throne. Jesus came through that. The transaction he made, the relationship he cultivated, and what information and what God promised him, other generations benefited. Abraham's blessing and mine. You sing that song, right? But who activated that transaction with God, with heaven? Whose relationship with God released that blessing that people are enjoying, right? So it's generational. So transaction can be generational. And many people who did not transact with God, and they engage with other things, they may have activated transactions running in generations. You just show up They've preloaded DNA. There are people who run in this DNA. Transactions are preloaded. The people who, because you are showing up in a lineage, what's the opportunity you have now is to load up and clean up. You can access that, do better, load better, have new transactions that then the next generation can benefit from. You can clean up some things in the lineage and future generations, right? That's what happened with Abraham. Abraham, leave your father's house. He was coming from somewhere. They didn't have relationship, right? God was looking for Abraham. Come out from, right? I'm ready to engage with you in a dynamic way that will look different from where you are coming from. So there is generational transaction God has had or has with people from time to time that changes the trajectory of the generation downstream. Preloaded programming that God has instituted because of the relationship he had. Okay? There's also now, right? Transactions you are having because of the way you're thinking, you're updating yourself, you're saying things, you're believing things, you're vibrating based on what you know. But where did what you know, where did it come from? Ask yourself that. Who taught you? Who are your teachers? What are you loading in yourself? Culture, nature, right? It's up to you. It's in your hands. Your life is in your, right? That this reality is now in your hands. It's your life, it's your body, it's your opportunity. But here's what I also want to add. Yeah? If you don't do a good job, in fact, even as you are doing the job, there are also other stuff that has desires for your body, for your reality. Because spiritual transaction is what determines and drives the physical realm. Spiritual dimension, spiritual transaction is what determines what shows up. What the body, right? What shows up and what doesn't, right? Daniel, or what doesn't. Daniel prayed. First day, God has already sent answer, downloaded because of the relationship he has with God. Answer was sent down. But he had to keep praying. He had to keep engaging spiritually and pressing in spiritually. Why? Then the story is like, as we were bringing it, another, they were trying to not allow that gift that is passing through the atmosphere. They didn't want it to, right? So God answered it, sent it down this time. But you know what? Some people were trying to intercept blessings, answered prayers, right? Just so you know, interception. Between heaven and earth, there are realities. Bible says you do not battle against flesh and blood, but against principalities. You get to a level spiritually, you will see some people have already clouded the atmosphere with their own desires. They are ruling with negative forces. So anybody under their domain cannot access heaven. They blocked it. Yes, because they are occupying domains. They have territories. So they load up they saturate the cloud with transaction that is not from heaven. They came up with their own funky stuff that doesn't align with God, and they download it into the atmosphere. People under their force and space are not accessing heaven, they are accessing. When you start saying culture of a company, culture of a country, culture of a region, culture of a city, who uploaded those programming into this atmosphere, who saturated the atmosphere with a belief and told everybody, download this, download that, and this person is this, bow to them, this person is that, kiss their hand, this person is, just so you know, Daniel faced him, Shadrach, Meshach, when there was a ruling force that said bow, bow, bow. If you don't bow, bow, right? Because they will enforce their own will and desire. When they kingdoms, their territories. You enter it, they tell you this is how things are done. But who came up with it? It's not God. It's not God's will. Humans are coming up with their own, and then you have to choose voluntary obedience or not. Every nation has rules and laws. Who came up with it? Who told you what is right and wrong in a nation? Because the moment you cross territory, now in the third dimension, there's spiritual territory people are claiming and instituting, energetically saying, When you go from this country, the moment you just cross the physical boundary, you've entered another rule book. Please understand upon the earth. When I teach export, you carry your physical goods from here to here. There is a rule, they call it border. Listen, to import to don't bring your own psychology of how things are done in your country into another country. Doesn't work. Your currency is different. The money they are spending. If you bring your money and say you want, they'll say, what is this? It's not recognizable. They'll tell you, what money? We don't know this. They don't recognize your money. You have to go and find their own money to transact in physical. That's why even spiritual side of nations and cities, when you cross from city to city, the character and people you will see, they vibrate at a frequency of what? You go to right Silicon Valley, tech, they can create the spirit. They know what they know, and they're exercising power in a domain, tech. You go to New York, stock exchange, they're vibrating financial knowledge, financial power upon the earth. They are exercising financial power. Silicon Valley, they're exercising technological power upon the earth, not their city. They've taken their power, they've subdued the earth with their own power. Technology that comes out of there. Before you know it, you are downloading. Everybody in the world is downloading their thoughts, what they created with their power and knowledge. They are uploading it to the world, and the world is engaging. Hollywood, Hollywood, power on movies, media, they are downloading it. Everybody around the world is watching their movie. But where did it come from? The thoughts and power of a domain. They are exercising authority beyond their region into the spiritual atmosphere. So there is the physical expression of power and dominion in a city, but that city can transport and export its rule book and culture and creation, and engage in the spiritual atmosphere of other people all over the world. So something can happen physically here. 2020 virus happened here. The virus that was localized became global. It traveled all over the world, took dominion. Spiritual atmosphere, it flew through the air. It happened in one place, but it took the whole world. It went around. Everybody was like, whoa, right? Just so you know, cities can rule. People in a space can expand territory into and saturate the world. Be fruitful, multiply, replenish, just subdue it. Bring the world under the dominion. Let them experience the full force and power of God. The whole world is waiting for the children of God. Where is your own exercise of, right? So I'm saying cities, something can start here, right? And then boo. People who are not physically there can download it spiritually. Just so you know, everybody's connected spiritually. Anyway, quantum, right? Okay. Where are we going with this? Where am I? Just so you know, things are exchanged. When they export their creation, what do you give them in return? Your money, your time, your attention. So wealth, if I connect this to wealth is built when you create something of value with your own spiritual power and knowledge that is highly desirable, and people are ready to exchange it with you. But that transaction is also spiritual, because you first have to use what heaven gave you, the power of God, the knowledge, right? That's how you create. Creativity, productivity is an exercise of spiritual will. So for you to even manifest God's glory, God will download ideas raw. You are a co-creator. You will take it, you will produce it within you. You produce it without you. You present it to the world. The world loves it. The world will now say, are they also ready to transact with you? But the question is, what transactions supports manifestation of God's glory, wealth, and then what transactions does not support? Please don't be naive to think that there are not preloaded realities that does not help people build wealth, and then there are preloaded realities that help people build wealth. And your job is to study pattern of thinking, behavior that will get you this, because many people start out if wealth hasn't been pre-downloaded generationally, if you don't know what it looks like, if you haven't experienced it, because that's vibrational frequency. People who hold wealth, they vibrate at ownership level. Many people are vibrating at, oh, they don't own. Wealth is you build, you own. What was built before you can be transferred. You don't build, you don't own. People who don't build, they don't own. In fact, what they own, ideas, all of the things God gave them for free. If they don't have the mindset and art set of ownership, do you know what they did? They give it all away. Esau and Jacob. Jacob had principle of ownership. He owned his porridge. He knew the porridge was his own. He did not share it. It wasn't community porridge. For those of you who are sharing everything, you are giving yourself, being trained to constantly be giving your time, giving your energy. Oh, give. No. Jacob was like, this is not family porridge. I cooked it for me. Just because you're a brother. He turned what he created into a transaction. He didn't give it for free. It wasn't freebie. He said, this porridge, I cooked it. So he practices independent thinking. Many people have been cultured not to think independent in their own desire. And because he has the mindset of, I own what I created, it is mine. If you want what is mine, I will take something for you. You pay. That's transaction. You will pay for this porridge. It's not free. This porridge, the time it took me to create it, I want something from you. It's not free. It's not family. I didn't cook for the family. And the brother thought it was joke. He thought he could eat free food. And just use mouth. So that you know your mouth is the one activating transaction. Many people don't know their mouth. They don't be making promises with your mouth. Right? Will you marry me? Yes. It's a transaction. Yes. Right? Will you marry? Yes. Ring. Physically, you are doing this. Hey. You are entangling, you've entangled, right? You are dragging yourself, you will do life together. It means this transaction means we will do life together. I will tolerate you. I will enjoy you. You will enjoy me. We will love each other. We will ask God to help us do it right. But you see what we are saying, the path you are going, the path I'm going, we are going the same way. Yeah? We want to make God proud. So you see what? You and I will do life together. We'll support each other, help each other. Transaction, we are together. Physically, we are together. That's your transaction. And they say, oh, love. Hey, you are saying you will journey together, you will think together, you will do things together. I'm looking at this. Can you guys still hear me? Because this is interesting. The time is. Can you guys still pick this up? I hope it hasn't dropped. You know what? Let me reactivate this because I'm seeing some messages now. Let me reopen this, okay? I hope I wasn't just engaging like that. Let's make sure it was recorded. Okay. Fresh. I hope, Miracle, I hope you all were able to pick it up because I started seeing a message here So I hope it didn't just drop on you all like that. Huh? I hope I didn't just keep talking on and on and on. Miss Beverly, I hope, did it just drop, or did you hear me till when I said, you know what, I'm going to restart this? So I know where to continue, where to activate it. Yeah, Miss Sheila, did you want to say something? Go ahead. It just dropped. I bet it dropped 10 minutes. I was still talking. I was still talking. So what was the last thing you picked up? Do you remember? Hmm? Do you remember what you picked up? Because I saw that this thing was going on. It didn't calculate the regular time. I was like, this has gone past. Let me just close it and restart, because I know by now I need to restart it. Does anybody want to share what was the last thing you heard me say, so I can pick it back up? Because I shared a whole lot. I have to see what was recorded there. Your time not being free. Did you hear me talk about Esau and Jacob, not family porridge? Did you hear that one? When Jacob was like, this porridge is it's not free. Yes, okay, good, okay. So okay, good. Oh, I learned. Thank you. Good. Yes. So Jacob has an owner mentality. What he worked for, what he built, he owned. And he wasn't ready to give it for free. Even when the brother was trying to engage in a transaction to say, give me your porridge. The brother may think he has a right to Jacob's porridge. But you see, Jacob said, no, you don't have a right. If you want my porridge, it's either you go and cook your own, but if you want mine, you give me something that is yours. And while Esau was taking something physical, he used his mouth, his spirit, to transact. You know that he did not physically give Jacob anything, but he used his word to make promises. That's why there are sometimes, actually, you have to cancel. You have to use words to cancel. Whenever you give your wealth, whoever you traded with your mouth and say, oh, you go and do this, I will do this. Contracts, right? I live in the world of business where people are writing rules and contractual agreements and say legally binding. Earth will say legally binding, but the spiritual binding of those things, you have to also know how to say, no, sir, no, man. Another transaction, some people activate it because of gluttony. Does everybody remember Naaman? Naaman. The person supporting the prophet went behind the prophet and decided to, right? But the transaction was not legal. So while physically he took this, he brought upon himself, because the prophet said, is this the time to be collecting gifts? Is this the time to be collecting and lying and collecting things? Somebody brought a reality. We healed him for free. We gave him healing for free. You are going to download what is in the hand of a person that is supposed to be, right? Well, guess what the guy also downloaded, right? A condition. In fact, this is a lot of the things that happen, is that many people are bowing down, asking people to lay hand. You are collecting things from people. You don't know what they are collecting from you spiritually, because it's always an exchange. When you establish a relationship, it is two-way. You cannot be asking people to do things for you if they don't have a generous heart. If they have a Jacob heart, pastor, pray for me, fast for me. They are sweating and using their energy to be doing all these things. Christians who don't understand spiritual transaction, they think anything is free. They really do think that somebody will pray, fast and pray for you, and that something will not come back to them that is of you. You don't know that when you take care of people, God will take care of you. Why? Because the blessing of taking care of people, that person gets extra blessing. So nothing is free. Nobody is laboring God is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. So if you are constantly begging people for this, begging people for prayer, whether it is a spiritual transaction, energetic transaction, you want their power, what they will take. You have to exchange spiritual. You cannot be asking somebody to do all the work for you and then you will be taking all the reward. It doesn't happen. It doesn't, like, just because you don't know, just because Esau did not know what he was trading off, doesn't mean he hasn't traded his power off. You said they should give you their power, your own power. Where did it go? Go to them. This is the trade-off of power. So spiritually, people are giving their power away simply because they're asking for other people's power. You cannot be going to somebody and say, give me your food, give me your power, what they labored for, what they own. You say you are demanding that they give it to you freely. Who will resource them back? Who will give them power back? It's not free anything spiritually. The person ye obey, ye are servants to. That's one of the rules. You surrender yourself to be obeying people, you are serving them. But Jesus has a difference, right? He said, whoever is greater, let him serve. But they flip, right? There's always legal and let's leave that one. Let's leave that one. So whenever people go in asking for other people's stuff, other people's power, and feel entitled, if they give it to you and they are not generous, you give them your own power and they give you their own. And so there's a whole world in the spiritual space, not in God's kingdom, in that other one, in that other club. They are constantly using their relationship to draw, to drain, to command other people's power to come to them. In the physical world, they can be giving you food, giving you care, giving you money, taking care of people. In fact, that's the rule in that one down. Take care of people, throw parties, give food, give this, be generous, be kind, physically. But you say in the quantum, collect everything back, plus more. If people eat my food, the person I'm praying for, because they have a right to collect anything they want to collect. Only generous people in God's kingdom will give and not ask anything back. Why? Because they believe they are doing this for God. You see, that's the rule. When you do things for God, you did it for God. You are not asking men to give you anything back. If you want anything back, you go back to God. God, I've done what you said I should do. Where is my blessing? Where is my reward? Bless me, bless me, bless me. That transaction was what? Heavenly. God sent them, give to my people, right? And God will might even say, don't take anything back. Just give, just serve. Serve God's kingdom. Who will resource you when you're serving God's kingdom? Generous people understand the rule. They're not going to hold people accountable. They're not going to force people to do tithe. They're not going to say, you are not my source. The person who is my source, who sent me on errand, I can stay with you and say, God, if you want me to continue, resource me, update me. Send the people you approve. Help me, Lord, and clear all the atmosphere. Those are people who have spiritual intelligence in God's kingdom. They will never turn to people and turn people into their source. Because if you do, another spirit has moved in. Controlling spirit. Because now you have to control people to cough out what they took from you. I did this for you. I did that for you. And you are doing this for me. Pay up! Hostage. They hold people bound. Spiritually now, they're like, you have to pay me back. Spiritually, because they are vibrating that they want to be resourced. They are empty. They will say you should gas them up. They gas you up. You're like, they might not even say it publicly. People who labor in the house that don't understand this rule, house of God, they are engaging in illegal transactions because they feel empty. They have financial needs, emotional needs, all kinds of needs. So guess what? We have poured. But the people, they are walking away. They are eating everything we serve. And they think this entire system runs on what? and nothing in them is kicking in that they should resource us back. See, if those people don't know how to go and, Moses, one of the fantastic things he knew how to do, he knew how to report God's people to God. Your people, your people, your people. Moses knew how to go to God and take all the behavior of God's people. He took it back to God. The day he didn't take it back to God, he was striking. You know what happened? Emotional. God say, hey, I didn't ask you to do that transaction. So there are many people in God's kingdom, if they don't go through the correct training to understand spiritual rules, that don't make man your source. Because if you do, they will control you. They will control your feelings, your emotions, and you will lose, right, the position God wants to play in your life. If you turn your congregation member into your God, the atmosphere is going to be interesting. And this happens, go into families as well. When people pour their pain, their ignorance, their vibration, because they are lacking knowledge, emotional understanding, spiritual understanding, there's some transactions. Certain people, certain parents, they do a lot that this generation needs to learn how to cancel all of it. You need to learn how to really, really clean all those things off you. There's a particular one that really went rampant. This one. Parents were made to believe that they will carry your stuff for you so that you will be free. See, it's only Jesus that can make people free. So ignorance, they were led in ignorance to open the corridor of their heart to carry 111 because they were made to believe that 111 is your 111. And because they didn't want you to carry 111, they said they will carry it for you. Something they're supposed to carry to Jesus. They were led to say, if you don't want this to happen, if you don't want that to happen, open your vessel, let 111 enter. That 111 was meant here. It was meant here. It was meant here. But since you love, you see, let it land on you. They will say, yes, they will carry this. They became, they were used as the dumping ground of Satan's plan, of the enemy's plan. When they are now weighed down, vibrating at the frequency of what they opened their corridor to, who would they blame? What would they do? You unsuspecting, you now say one thing. When they come for you, they say, me, that I did this for you, did that for you, did that for you. If I didn't pray for you, if I didn't run around for you, if I didn't labor for you, would you be who you are? They've forgotten that it is God that gave you to them. That it is God that is resourcing everybody. But there's a dimension that has used ignorance to trick them into doing transaction on your behalf with your name, pursuing. It has entered the generation, it has entered the family. When it finishes with them, when those things wants to come and collect, you will learn how to say, Jesus is mine. Who sent you on that errand? Jesus carried all my sin. Why did you carry that? Why did you carry that? Who led you to believe you are supposed to be carrying anything on anybody's behalf? Jesus carried it to the cross. There's a whole club. It's the same thing. Pastor will say, I pray for you. If God is the one that answered prayer. Paul said, I planted Apollo's water. Who gave the increase? God. Who protects? God. Who is the son? God. The day a pastor thinks it is his prayer protecting anybody, that pastor needs help. That pastor needs serious help. Because he's being led to believe that he can protect anything. Yeah. Paul planted, Apollo's water. You can labor. Please labor for people. Pray for people. But the day you think you did anything in your own power for anybody, that pastor has entered a territory and a transaction with the enemy of God. Because what can you do for anybody? Really? What can you even plan? Can you make anything? Jesus said, except a grain of sand fall down, and that what is inside it will not come out. Even spiritual transaction, when anybody vibrates, that they did this for you, they did that for you, they did that for you. By whose power are they doing all of those things? Let everybody come and acknowledge the role God is playing in everybody's life. The day they don't acknowledge the role God is the one using them, the whole glory be to God. When they want to take for themselves, the glory due to God. When a pastor or a parent or a brother or anybody, and you too don't do it. If God uses you, he used you, he resourced you. Say thank you to God that he even made it available that you can be useful. Being useful means you must be grateful that you're in the position to be useful. It doesn't mean you are entitled to take a glory that is only belongs to God. Any pastor that wants to take a glory that is their prayer, is their covering, is their this, that person needs serious help. That they did this, in whose name? Who sent them on that errand? Because that's the person they will be thanking. Who? If God brings people for you to co-create and bless, you don't own that person. Peter does not own the flock. If God gives you flock, the day you say, this sheep, I sheep, I sheep, blah, blah, blah. If not for me, sheep. When a shepherd start having conversation like that with a sheep, somebody's supposed to say, what's wrong with you, shepherd? Is that your job? Is it your sheep? Why are you talking to sheep that way? Why are you expecting sheep to vomit? What can sheep give you? The person that employed you, go and talk to that person. If God employs you to be a shepherd, it is you and you, go and talk to God. But when people start saying, sheep, give me this, give me that, they want to have a transaction with the sheep because they were doing the job God sent them to do. If you need something, if somebody hasn't paid you, go and meet your employer. Leave the sheep he committed into your hand. Leave them alone. Leave the souls alone. Leave the souls alone. Don't be demanding that the soul becomes a source and this and that and do this and do that. And if they don't do it, go and talk to your employer. Go and talk to God. If you need something, go and talk to God. If you need to be rewarded a certain way for laboring in the house of God, go and talk to God. If God is the one that really sent you. The same voice you used to hear that God sent you. Go and the same thing the ways God sent you, go and talk to him that he should resource you. Instead of talking to the sheep. The sheep is not your dinner. You want dinner? Ask your employer to feed you. So transactions between pastors and the church people, share. If you watch that thing, oh Lord, listen, as a child of God, you are supposed to be generous with those who care for you anyway. They are not supposed to demand. You are supposed to have the heart of giving, which is what they are supposed to train you. If they train you the principles of generosity, they will not need to ask you. They will not need to control you. They will not need to mishandle you. They will not need to. But people are lacking the knowledge of the principle of generosity. Give and it shall be given unto you. Because people are lacking that knowledge, somebody also is not teaching them. Who are your teachers? So it's wonky, funky along that line. Transactions that are used not by the Spirit of God. If you are not talking to God and engaging with God, who are you talking to? Who are you transacting with? Hey, that's not how the Holy Spirit speaks. Oh, marriages is the same way. We will work together. Culture say bow. Hey, what did you bow? What did you give? What did you give away? So a lot of women cannot even function. Why? Culture said they should give their entire everything God gave them. They should give it for free. Oh my God. Let me leave this. Let's who wants to ask questions? Because that one I can learn it so much, but when you were married, what did they tell you to give away of your soul? The gifts God gave you, everything God gave you, man or woman, and right, both sides. When you hooked on, do you understand the institution of marriage and the transactions, spiritual transactions involved? What did they make you feel? You must give freely. without negotiation. They pre-programmed you that somebody else owned you, and you believed there. Better go and correct that thing in heaven. When all is said and done, who would you give account to? The person you married or God? People need to wake up. Everything you are doing in the marriage, is it the husband or the wife that will reward you? What can they even reward you with? Do everything as unto the Lord. He's a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. Even in the role of marriage, you want to understand. That's why I appeal to women. Be nice. Be nice to your men. Because I understand this principle. Some men don't understand what is going on. That your job is not to piss off your wife, your helper, your supporter. Right? And I'm appealing to women. Women, please, and men too, constantly forgive. Constantly forgive so that you can continue to serve under God. You are serving under God, not a man, but they can misprogram you to think your soul and spirit is under a man. Spiritual, illegal, that's illegal, because spiritual self. Remember when they asked Jesus, if this man married, he said in heaven there is no marriage. That's why I say if I want to unpack the spiritual dimension of this thing, we'll start another. I'll just share a little with you. Your spirit, the Spirit of God that He pours inside you. It is He prepared a body. He loaded your spirit with responsibility and roles. And in order to match it, your spiritual dimension is matched. Right? A body you have prepared for me. A body you have prepared for me. Your spirit that came from God, right, is given a body so that you can function in the capacity God has for you. Please connect, follow me a little, and then we'll start preparing your question. When God made Adam, He poured all of Himself in Adam. Then He saw, Adam, it's not good that you should be alone. So He put Adam to sleep and then formed a female and took something from Adam. Here is the key. He didn't pour Himself fully into the woman. He didn't do what He did to Adam to the woman, because He had already given all of His personality to the man. He took part of Himself, part of His personality, part of His nature, God nature. He took it, rib, and then put it inside the woman. So part of the man, the part of a functioning of the original Adam is now in the woman. That's why two will become one. Part of the original programming, God gave all of Himself. Then He took some of it and gave it to woman, so that now man needs that woman to fully function, to be fully awake. Part of God is in that woman. The part of God that is in that woman, the appeal is, don't rob the man of it. Support him. He actually needs, because the woman now has a nature of God that is not in a man. There's a nature of God, nurturing, care, sensitivity. In fact, God packed a lot of power inside that woman. In that, for the man, yes, if you want part of you back, you will love your wife. And out of love, she will, right? So it is not a spirit under spirit mode. No. The engagement is a loving relationship, spiritual love, okay, and then energetic release and support. Love, energetic, love, energetic, love. Because if you love a woman, she knows she's loved, she will already just be available. But if you are feeding, so it's high frequency. But if you are feeding junk, women is it, that. If you put the woman in an uncomfortable, you are feeding the woman something else, she will have to reprogram herself. That's why I appeal to women, reprogram yourself to do what God wants you to do. Because a lot of times men don't make it easy because they are disinformation. If they know what God expects of them, how to handle a woman, put her in a position of love constantly. She needs that. Not that if I even say need, is that women thrive. God believes Adam. Remember, Adam, take care of the garden. Does Adam own the? Can Adam even come and say, this garden is mine? I made the fish. Say what? I made the moon. Ah, I made the woman. Wah. Adam didn't make the woman. He just woke up. The woman was given. So all this cultural misprogramming, making men think they own something. No, you don't own no woman. You didn't create no woman. You didn't create nothing. She's a gift. She's an add-on package to resource your life for good. You mishandle that package, you get what you get. But I also appeal, women, you have to do more work. You cannot be looking to the man. In fact, the key, women need love to surrender, to give. And it's not a bowing of the spirit. You are a being that doesn't bow. That's so people are even doing my will under your which will. You better have your own will. It is with it you do the work God told you to do, including all that comes with marriage. You cannot be saying you are doing it for the man. Who gave you responsibility? God. So even the responsibility given to a woman is from God. You didn't get it from the man. The man doesn't know nothing about who you are, what you are carrying, how you can even help him, what God put in you. Does a man say he knows what is inside his woman? No. But God does. God knows what the man will need and what he puts inside the woman that the woman can yield to him. So no man can say he knows a woman. In fact, that's part of the journey of life. Man, you don't know what's up. Better go and ask God to teach you what he invested in your womb, because each woman has a unique package. And that package will bless that man. The man is supposed to go and ask God, not be manhandling, controlling. Are you kidding me? Don't do that, please. So let's leave that one alone. Knowledge is power. Let God teach everybody. Let God upgrade everybody, because people are using scripts created that is not even helping them. There's no man that can use ignorance to lead a woman to where. But women, if you're ignorant and gullible, in fact, women have so much intuition, wisdom. They'll be trying to be telling a man, turn, look at your left, look at your right, be careful here, be careful here. Men will be like, what am I careful for? The woman can pick up all the energetic vibration. This is what's going up. What's up in spiritual dimension? This is what I'm sensing. This is what I'm seeing. Men will be like, may God help such people to calm down and humble themselves to hear the voice of the Lord as it speaks to guide them. Transactions. Marriage transaction, boss transaction, church transaction. It's all over. So be careful what you're saying yes to. I heard all this, but I give all kinds of examples. Let's talk, and then the question may make me reference some of this. Okay, sorry. Okay. So, looking at time. To see if you bow to the wrong spirit, you are not so. For whatever name, whoever told you to bow and lie to you and say you should not use your will to do what God has called you to do, that you should do doing this or that. Well, ignorance will make people do that. Sometimes, again, when I was a child, everybody starts out being in the hands of somebody until you realize you don't belong in the hands of. When you grow to, you realize God didn't, you aren't supposed to live all of your life in the hands of somebody. You're supposed to grow up and put yourself back in God's hands. Submit your will under God's will, resist the enemy. But if you submit your will to something else and you don't know that you're supposed to submit to God, well, that's the transaction. Who's going to do that for you? Who's going to take you back? Meaning, withdraw and submit yourself. Who? You. Okay. Q&A. Helpful? I've sent Miss Beverly here. I think you came up. Because if Eve understood her position, she was a line of defense. Eve was a line of defense. Defense for her husband, defense for the generation. If women are powerfully made to be a line of defense emotionally, there's some conversations women need to be careful not to have. Oh Lord, I have a whole list of stuff. That's why I'm like, let your questions be the one. I will speak to answer the questions. Because women, a lot of ignorant women, they conduct a lot of spiritual transactions that has so much implication. Because if women don't train themselves with wisdom, and if they don't submit themselves under the mighty hand of God, if they start believing funky stories, women need to be, we need to be disciplined and submit and just be calm and focus on, because women are the ones that do a lot of spiritual transactions because of okay, you send your questions when we get to the, okay, sure, absolutely. Okay, who wants to, I know this is like unique. Miss Beverly came up. Okay, go on. But you see, once you start going to the workbook, you see a lot of these things, right? Sorry? Go on, Miss Beverly. Yeah, it's going in and out. Is it my side or? Yeah. Okay. Is the app okay? It dropped. Let me bring it. Let's try this again. Okay. Yeah, the connection, right? Do I need to refresh this page? Can you get in the chat space? I hope you can, the audio is okay. Audio, video, yes. Okay. Okay, let me refresh this page. Today, technology today is interesting. Is this better? Miss Beverly, is this better? Okay, I think today's technology. Do we close this out or we try again? Do I log out and log back in one more time? Today, thank you for your patience. I know there's been a technology stuff going around, so we've been patient. Do you want me to restart this again and see if it refreshes it? I had to go on YouTube for the last oh okay, you know what? Let me close this and restart again. Today has been interesting with technology. Okay, let's do that. Let's try it again. Okay. Miss Beverly, let's try it. Okay, now I can see you. Yep. Go ahead, please. Yes. Ooh. Nah. Mm-mm. You know what? Maybe I'll establish some form of dialing. Maybe you call in and you talk. Maybe, you know what? Maybe what let's try this for the first time ever. You know what? Let's test something. I want to give you guys a phone number, office number. If you can dial in, we will use the audio. Technology, we will work around technology. Let me test this out. Um we'll use another one. I'm gonna off this one, and then we'll capture. I'll send the official number, not the private one, and then you can dial in, and then we'll solve that. See, technology